What do billionaires, sacred rivers, space rockets, and slums all have in common? They coexist in one country, a country where a child can code for NASA, while another cannot read their own name, where democracy moves a billion people. And yet, one vote still requires a camel trek. This is not science fiction. This is India. India's shocking extremes. Rich versus poor, tradition versus tech. India, home to over 1.4 billion people, is a country where the extremes are staggering. A land where skyscrapers rise beside sprawling slums, where ancient rituals coexist with cutting-edge technology, and where dreams of upward mobility clash with centuries-old caste divisions. In this story, we delve deep into the shocking contrasts that define India, a country straddling the past and the future, tradition and modernity, poverty and prosperity. India's general election is the largest democratic event in the world. Every 5 years, more than 900 million eligible voters cast their ballots to elect 543 members of the lower house of parliament. The outcome determines the ruling party and the prime minister. To understand the scale of India's election, imagine the entire populations of the United States, the European Union, Indonesia, Brazil, and Japan all voting at once. The logistics are nothing short of mind-boggling. The Election Commission of India oversees this enormous exercise. Despite having only around 800 employees nationwide, they coordinate over 1 million polling stations and manage more than 2,300 political parties. The commission can commandeer public servants, military personnel, transportation, and even animals to ensure every vote is cast. In 2019, over 110,000 officials, 600 trains, 200,000 vehicles, helicopters, boats, and even elephants and camels were used to reach remote polling locations. Because of this complexity, the voting is staggered over 7 phases and takes nearly 6 weeks to complete. Literacy remains a significant challenge. Around 240 million voters cannot read, and many rural areas lack formal addresses. To ensure every citizen can vote, officials go door to door explaining the rules and procedures. Voting machines display candidate photos and party symbols like bicycles, flowers, and cricket bats to assist illiterate voters. Each party is assigned a unique symbol, with strict regulations preventing the use of religious or animal imagery to avoid controversy. India's linguistic diversity also adds complexity. There are 22 official languages and over 200 spoken by more than 100,000 people. All election materials must be printed in English and at least 2 local languages. What truly sets India apart is its commitment to inclusivity. Every polling station must be within 2 kilometers of a voter's residence, no matter how remote. In the Himalayan village of Tashigang, officials trekked for 3 days carrying oxygen tanks to reach just 12 voters. In the lion-inhabited forests of Gujarat, armed officials hiked 30 kilometers to reach a single temple caretaker. Even crocodile-infested islands and Maoist rebel territories are not exempt. To uphold democracy, India will go anywhere for 1 vote. Despite these Herculean efforts, the voting process is swift and efficient. Electronic voting machines are battery-operated, offline, and tamper-proof. Results are usually tallied within a day. To prevent fraud, voters' index fingers are marked with indelible purple ink that lasts for 2 weeks. The inked finger has become a proud symbol of Indian democracy. When it comes to national pride, Indians often cite 3 things: the Taj Mahal, Mahatma Gandhi, and their vibrant democracy. India's ability to maintain free elections without a single military coup since independence in 1947 is a global rarity. It is a testament to the determination of its people and the resilience of its institutions. Another mirror of India's contrasts is its cinema. Though Hollywood may dominate globally, Bollywood reigns supreme in India. Producing over 2,000 films a year, India's film industry dwarfs America's. More than 13,000 theaters screen these movies daily to 14 million viewers, most of whom watch Indian films. Even global blockbusters like Avatar and Avengers struggle to compete. Bollywood films, particularly the masala genre, mix action, comedy, romance, tragedy, and music. They often feature miraculous heroes, dramatic plots, and, most notably, elaborate song and dance sequences. These musical interludes serve multiple purposes. They transcend language barriers, reflect religious traditions, and offer fantasy escapes from everyday hardship. In a country with moderate literacy and over 200 languages, music and dance unify audiences. Hinduism's key deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are all associated with music and dance, making these performances spiritually resonant. Dance scenes are often filmed in exotic global locations, bearing no relevance to the story but offering visual delight. Indian audiences know the songs before the movie is released. Theaters resemble lively festivals rather than solemn venues. People cheer, sing, and dance during screenings. The success of a movie can be gauged by the energy inside the cinema. Behind the scenes, playback singers and backup dancers become celebrities in their own right. Despite the glitz, Bollywood also reflects the nation's inequalities. As India's middle class grows, more realistic films addressing poverty, women's rights, and corruption are emerging. These new cinema works contrast sharply with traditional masala films, highlighting the tension between fantasy and reality. One of India's most extreme contrasts lies in its education system. The Indian Institutes of Technology, IITs, are the country's most prestigious universities. Every year, over 1.5 million students compete for just 13,000 spots. The odds are worse than Ivy League admissions. To prepare, students flock to cities like Kota, a once small town that has become a massive coaching hub. Families spend their life savings to send their children here. Students study from dawn till night, often skipping regular school altogether. The pressure is immense. Suicides are tragically common. Kota has one of the highest youth suicide rates in the country. Yet parents persist because an IIT degree can change everything. Graduates land jobs at Google, Apple, or Microsoft, sometimes with salaries of over $300,000. For many, especially those from lower castes, it is the only ladder out of poverty. But for every student in Kota, millions receive substandard education. India's schooling system is highly unequal. Many youth cannot perform basic arithmetic. Critics argue that the system focuses only on the elite, leaving the majority behind. Education, like so much else in India, mirrors its stark social divide. Cricket also reveals India's contradictions. More than a sport, it is a unifying religion. Heroes like Sachin Tendulkar are worshipped. Players earn salaries higher than Premier League footballers. The Indian Premier League, IPL, attracts 1.7 billion viewers each season, with media rights valued in billions of dollars. Cricket's popularity stems partly from history. Introduced by the British during colonial rule, it became a symbol of resistance and nationalism. Today, matches against Pakistan are emotional battlegrounds, watched by over 1 billion people. The game bridges India's many divides, from language to religion to caste. Cricket is also a path to social mobility. It requires minimal equipment and offers massive rewards. Unlike rugby or basketball, there is little physical contact, aligning well with cultural sensitivities around touch and caste. Finally, there is the Ganges River, both sacred and dying. Worshipped as a goddess and seen as the purifier of sins, it receives the ashes of cremated bodies and the prayers of millions. Yet it is also one of the most polluted rivers in the world. Millions bathe in its waters, believing it brings salvation. But its bacteria levels exceed safe limits by over 3,000 times. Industrial waste, human remains, and ritual offerings all contaminate the river. Still, faith often overrides fact. To question the Ganges' purity is to offend the divine. Environmentalists warn of health crises, but change is slow. In India, faith runs deep, and modernization must often tiptoe around centuries-old beliefs. India is not one country, but many. It is a nation where wealth and wisdom, superstition and science coexist in a delicate, often explosive balance. It sends rockets to Mars and yet cannot guarantee clean drinking water. It boasts billionaires while children go hungry. It celebrates democracy while fighting deep-rooted inequality. This is India, a land of extremes, of dreams and despair, of astonishing resilience and overwhelming contradiction. A country where everything is possible and nothing is simple. If India's incredible extremes blew your mind, imagine what other countries are hiding in plain sight. Hit that subscribe button to join me as we uncover the world's most shocking contrasts. And smash the like button if you're ready for your next dose of reality that's stranger than fiction.